When are you planning to marry Taylor Swift? The question hung in the warm June air at Vanderbilt University's football facilities during the 2025 edition of Tight End University. Travis Kelce didn't hesitate for a second. Standing in the middle of the turf, clad in a black shirt, the Kansas City Chiefs star broke into that trademark grin and laughed. "Oh man, you're really going to put me on the spot like that, but look, if you must know, I'm the happiest I've ever been. When the time is right, you'll all know about it." The response sent shockwaves through the gathered crowd of tight ends and media personnel. They had been expecting a typical deflection. Instead, they got pure authenticity from one of the NFL's biggest stars. "She's incredible," Kelce continued, as fellow players gathered around. "Swift has changed my whole perspective on what love can be. I think that's something worth taking your time with, rather than rushing into anything." George Kittle shouted from the sidelines, "That's our boy, always keeping it classy." Baltimore's Mark Andrews added, "We're all rooting for you, man." The sincerity in Kelce's voice was unmistakable as cameras rolled. They captured every word of what would become one of the most talked about moments in II history. The 34-year-old tight end wasn't just answering a question. He was opening his heart about his relationship with global pop icon Taylor Swift. He did it in a way that surprised everyone present. "I love that woman more than words can express," Kelce said, running a hand through his slightly tousled hair. "When we're ready to take that next step, it'll be something special. Right now, we're just living our lives, loving each other, and supporting each other's dreams." The moment was caught on camera by the event's social media team. Within hours, the clip had exploded across every platform imaginable. Fans were dissecting every word, every gesture, every smile from the Chiefs superstar. "But don't worry," Swifties Kelce added with a wink. "When it happens, you'll definitely know about it." The response was met with cheers, whistles, and playful boos. From other tight ends nearby, they had been listening intently to their colleague's heartfelt admission. His honesty about his future with one of the world's biggest entertainers struck a chord. "Honestly, it's refreshing to see someone in the spotlight handle personal questions with such grace," said Dalton Kincaid. The young Buffalo Bills star was participating in his first II event. Travis could have easily brushed off the question, but instead he gave us something real, something honest. Dallas Goedert nodded in agreement from across the field. "You can tell how much she means to him just by the way his whole demeanor changes when her name comes up. It's beautiful to see." As the impromptu interview continued, other tight ends began sharing their own perspectives on love and relationships. This marriage question had opened the floodgates for deeper conversations among the NFL brotherhood. George Kittle, always one to lean into meaningful discussions, called out from a few yards away, "Marriage is beautiful, man. When you know, you know." The San Francisco 49ers star grinned as he spoke about his own wife. His words triggered a chorus of agreement from the group. Mark Andrews chimed in with his own thoughts. "I think what Travis and Taylor have is special. You can see how happy they are together. That's what matters most in any relationship." The Baltimore Ravens tight end had witnessed firsthand how Kelce's relationship with Swift had transformed his teammate and friend. Even Greg Olsen, one of the founders of II, weighed in on the moment. "What you're seeing here is authentic Travis, being vulnerable and honest about something that clearly means the world to him." The retired NFL veteran had seen plenty of media interactions over his career. This was different. This was real. The conversation had evolved from a simple question about marriage into a broader discussion about love, commitment, and what it means to find your person. Nick Bosa, who had been quietly listening from the sidelines, finally spoke up. "You can't fake that kind of happiness. Travis has been glowing ever since they got together. As an observer and friend, it's been incredible to watch." The 49ers defensive star rarely commented on personal matters. His words carried extra weight because of their rarity. Subscribe now to catch more exclusive moments like this from your favorite NFL stars. The viral moment didn't end there, as more players continued to share their thoughts on relationships and what they had witnessed in Kelce's transformation. Darren Waller, the New York Giants tight end, offered his perspective. "From experience, finding someone who supports your dreams while you support theirs, that's the foundation of everything. Travis and Taylor have that in spades." The veteran had been through his own relationship challenges. He recognized something special when he saw it. Calvin Ridley, though not a tight end, had been invited as a special guest to TEU, the Tennessee Titans wide receiver added his voice to the conversation. What strikes me most is how genuine Travis is when he talks about her. There's no pretense, no media training, just pure love. The authenticity of the moment had resonated with everyone present. Even the camera crew and social media team were visibly moved by what they were witnessing. This wasn't your typical athlete interview. This was a man talking about the woman he loves, with complete honesty and vulnerability. As the discussion wound down, Kelce addressed the cameras one final time. "I want to thank everyone for the love and support Taylor and I have received. We're just two people who found each other and fell in love. When we're ready to take that next step, it'll be because it's right for us, not because of outside pressure or expectations." His words were measured, thoughtful, and came from the heart. The Kansas City Chiefs star had managed to address the marriage question. He did it while maintaining privacy and setting boundaries. Most importantly, he had done it with grace and authenticity. The impact of this moment extended far beyond the football field at Vanderbilt University. Within hours, clips of Kelce's response were trending on every social media platform. Sports analysts, relationship experts, and entertainment reporters were all weighing in on what they had witnessed. The genuine nature of his response had struck a chord with millions of fans worldwide. Back at 2, the training continued, but the mood had shifted. There was an electricity in the air that hadn't been there before. Players were more open, more connected, more willing to share personal moments with each other. Kelce's vulnerability had given everyone permission to be more authentic. The ripple effects of that single question about marriage would be felt long. After the cameras stopped rolling, for Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, the moment represented something deeper than just a viral clip. It was a public declaration of love, commitment, and respect for their relationship timeline. The NFL star had shown the world that real love doesn't need to be rushed. It needs to be cherished, nurtured, and protected. As the sun set over Vanderbilt University's football facilities, the 2025 edition of Tight End University would be remembered not just for the elite training. It would be remembered for a moment of pure human connection. A moment when one of the NFL's biggest stars opened his heart. He shared his truth about love, marriage, and finding happiness with the right person. The question about marriage had been answered not with a date or timeline. It had been answered with something far more valuable: pure, authentic love, and the promise that when the time is right, the world would celebrate alongside them. As the interview session was wrapping up, Kelce couldn't help but share a few more personal insights that had the entire crowd hanging on his every word. "You know what I love most about Taylor?" he said with a smile that could light up the entire stadium. "She makes me want to be better every single day, not just as a football player, but as a man. That's when you know you've found your person." The Chiefs star paused for a moment, collecting his thoughts before continuing. "She's taught me that vulnerability isn't weakness, it's actually strength. Being able to open up and share your feelings, that takes courage." The gathered players nodded in agreement, many of them clearly moved by their colleagues' candid words.